Welcome to this edition of Desert Vision. I'm Army Sergeant Rick Bush.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Raul Marquez.
And I'm Captain Pete Mervis.
Coming up on this special edition of Desert Vision, our public affairs team talks about their family traditions during Christmas, and we'll take a look at some of the top stories of December.
Season's greetings. I'm Lieutenant General Mike Garrett, Commander, United States Army Central.
And I'm Command Sergeant Major Kelly, Command Sergeant Major, U.S. Army Central.
Not all of our families have the opportunity to spend this special, festive time together.
To all of our soldiers away from their loved ones, we would like to say thanks for your steadfast dedication and service to our nation.
Your sacrifices do not go unnoticed. So whether you're in Kuwait, Afghanistan, Iraq, or anywhere else in the world,
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
I'm Sergeant Major of the Army Dan Daly, and you're watching Desert Vision.
Welcome back. In this edition, you're going to hear all my soldiers talk about their family traditions. One tradition that I truly enjoy is watching my kids open their presents during Christmas morning. And even as a deployed soldier, I'm still able to do that thanks to video chats and other technology that we have available to us.
My wife Christy and I use technology to keep our family tradition going too. Every year we'll pick out a hand-painted ornament and just to celebrate the close of another year together. And I got to do that this year from thousands of miles away.
So this will be the first year for me using Skype to do a video chat for Christmas since being married. But a tradition for me is back with my father. We would always go hunting on Christmas, and on Christmas Eve I got to open a gift early, and that gift was always some sort of warm hunting clothes, which just so happened to fit in for that Christmas Day tradition. That's something that I'm going to always cherish forever, as it goes on. And since we're talking about traditions, a long-standing Army tradition is giving enlisted soldiers the opportunity to select the officer that administers the oath of their enlistment during a re-enlistment ceremony. That makes it a little more personable and memorable. Our very own specialist Brittany Lobos takes us to a very unique re-enlistment on Camp Arif John.
So these are my re-enlistees? Oh. Who's the three guys with the bonuses? Don't want to admit it?
The atmosphere of the morning was as bright as the sunrise as soldiers from across Camp Arif John lined up to renew their oath of enlistment with the Army Chief of Staff.
It's actually a great honor for him to come out here to show support to all the troops, especially me being in for not very long, just over 2 years. It's kind of exciting. I feel like as long as you give to the Army will always give back to you. So you just got to keep pushing forward, and defending the country is one of the most important things to me.
No matter what your particular job is, it's essential to the protection of the United States. Each of you, in your own way, plays a critical role in that effort. So thanks for what you're doing for everybody.
For one re-enlistee, continuing in the military is about more than the thanks he receives.
I mean, we're soldiers, we're growing up, we're getting the newer policies instilled in us, and it's our job to continue that and to spread it on to the newer soldiers coming in today's Army. So my job right now is just to teach someone to be better than I am, and the only way we're going to do that is if we stay in.
During the lighthearted ceremony, 24 soldiers got the opportunity to re-enlist with the Army Chief of Staff. Reporting for U.S. ARCENT Public Affairs, I'm Specialist Brittany Lobos.
5'7". How's that work?
How's that work? I'm 5'9". How's that work?
Lighting, I guess, certainly.
It's the
lighting. The lighting.
After the re-enlistment ceremony, the Army Chief of Staff and Sergeant Major of the Army handed out coins to all of the re-enlistees.
That's a really great tradition, and it's also great to see all these soldiers dedicating more time to their service. Speaking of traditions, I remember waking up in the mornings before Christmas and making homemade tamales with my aunt and my mom. And I remember the house always smelling so great. What kind of things did you do?
When I married my wife, we started a Christmas tradition of getting a new Christmas ornament for our tree every single year. It's a great tradition that shows how we've grown as a family and how we change every year. Speaking of that, we've got more Christmas stories from our team coming up right after this.
Service members stationed at Camp Arif John enjoy an evening of joy and cheer during the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony. The evening was topped off with a winter wonderland where service members were able to enjoy a carnival-style atmosphere with a variety of games. Of course, Old St. Nick made an appearance as well.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Sway Duarte here in Camp Arifjan, Kuwait. I want to say happy holidays to all my friends and family in Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth. Nico, I love you so much. Merry Christmas, baby boy.
Mixed martial arts, or MMA, has swept over the United States since its popularity began in the early 90s. Thanks to the MWR, soldiers at Camp Buehring are in for what could be once-in-a-lifetime event. Army Staff Sergeant John Portella tells us more.
From the glitz and glamour of the octagon to the sandy deserts of Kuwait, UFC fighters and their entourage arrived to Camp Buehring as part of an MWR meet and greet event.
Interacting with soldiers kind of gives them an idea about the challenges we face, the training that we do, and also at the same time, I think it's a great experience for everyone involved.
Starstruck soldiers stand side by side, speaking and interacting with their favorite UFC fighter. Others get a chance to spar and take down a fighter of their choosing. But one has to wonder why people like the UFC fighters would take time out of their own schedule to come visit the soldiers in the first place.
It's amazing to meet just the men and women that help us keep our freedom. They exemplify courage and bravery, and they go out and they defend our country. It's my honor to meet you, because we wouldn't have our freedoms or anything in this country if it weren't for you guys. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
The MWR meet and greet events like these not only affect the lives of the soldiers while deployed, but in turn, the soldiers also affect the lives of the people they least think about back home. Reporting from Camp Buehring, Kuwait, I'm Staff Sergeant John Portella.
It was really awesome, those UFC fighters, to come over here during the holidays to spread, to boost morale for these American soldiers, during this time when they're away from their families.
Yeah, that was awesome. At Christmas time, getting them back into the Christmas tradition, one of the things me and my family does is on Christmas Eve, my wife likes to have the kids open up one gift early, I'm usually playing Scrooge, so telling them they can wait one more day, but usually wife gets her way, so that's how that goes. But on Christmas Day, the kids, they wake up early, they start opening in gifts, but my wife wakes me up because I'm usually sleeping in bed from the night before still, just staying up late. But they open up gifts and we take pictures and videos and watch them open it up one by one.
That sounds really great. When I was growing up as a kid, we didn't get to open presents on Christmas Eve, but on Christmas Day, we would go to my grandmother's, and then we would have to wait until everybody eat breakfast. And then, yeah, it was kind of awful as a kid, but we'd sit there and we'd wait, and we'd have to wait for my grandmother, before we were allowed to open presents. And now looking back at it, it's like it was more about the family than it was about opening presents. We've got more Christmas stories from our team coming up right after this.
Hi, I'm Major Brandon Gray, stationed in Camp Arifjan, Kuwait. I want to say happy holidays to all my friends and family in Syracuse, New York. I love you guys. Merry Christmas.
Welcome back. Every year, as far back as I can remember, my family would allow me and my brother to open one present on Christmas Eve. They were always pajamas. We knew that, but that's not the point. The point was the thought that counted. This is a tradition that I'm continuing on with my children.
It's a pretty nice tradition. My family has one as well. We actually watch A Muppet's Christmas Carol every year. And watching that movie is very special to me and my family because my son was actually born just after watching it one year. So it's something me and my family hold very dear.
For me, we would watch movies too, but they were like the old claymation ones with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We would do that while cooking Christmas cookies for each member of my family. So the smell of cookies reminds me of home and Christmas.
I bet those cookies tasted pretty good, huh?
Oh, they were so good.
Yeah, but I bet it...
No.
But after eating all those cookies, you're going to have to work out and, take all that holiday stuff out. So, a soldier's morning starts in the formation preparing to conduct physical training. Army Sergeant Rick Bush takes us to a formation of soldiers preparing for a 5K run at Camp Arifjan.
During his first visit to Kuwait since becoming the 15th Sergeant Major of the Army, Sergeant Major of the Army Daniel Daly took to the streets of Camp Arifjan to do what he loves most, PT with soldiers.
You know, when you come over here, you got to do what soldiers do for a living. You got to show soldiers that you're still a soldier. And by getting out here and doing physical fitness training with them, it shows them that you care. It shows them that you're still a soldier at heart. And it shows them what they're doing is important to the success of not just their mission here, but to the whole United States of America.
Sergeant Major Daly says that we as an Army have to be physically fit, and that makes you mentally resilient and physically tough.
Leaders can only lead in one place in this Army, and that's from the front. Soldiers got to see their leaders out here doing everything they do every day. And they're not going to be there every day, not going to be there doing every single thing they're doing. But physical fitness is one of the things that requires leadership presence every single day.
Good job. I think PT is important to discharge energy in the morning. I mean, most people, it's stressful over here, so you need PT to discharge the energy, and it was good to be here and work out with the Sergeant Major.
Sergeant Major spent time with soldiers during breakfast and held a town hall with NCOs stationed on Camp Arifjan. Reporting for USARCENT Public Affairs, I'm Army Sergeant Rick Bush.
That's going to do it for this edition of The Servition. From all of us at USARCENT Public Affairs, happy holidays and
Merry Christmas!